to the live update of the governorship election across the 28th state of the Federation. I am Olajide Taufik Olamide, and with me is my beautiful co-host here.
Gladys Adoze, welcome back to the election update on Flip TV.
All right, we've seen so many things happening in various polling units. Some have started their counting already. Some have finished the voting process, while some are still ongoing as well. But I'm looking at the general election. So far, so good. We have seen some pocket of violence everywhere. Let's take a look at Sangotedo. Let's take a look at Sangotedo polling unit 015. There was uproar. There was chaos, pandemonium right there in the polling unit. Polling unit 015, Sangotedo. We can have the video.
Fighting, no. Fighting, everybody running, no.
Okay,
everybody
so the violence in Sangotedo area and also some part of Lagos, like Okota area as well. We noticed that there were thugs. We have series of videos whereby we saw thugs really, threatening the voters there, and some people actually went to the extent of bringing out their dogs to really protect themselves.
Before now, they did mention that they will release their dogs if thugs try to act funny. Yeah. And I also remember the INEC official and the security agencies warning residents not to bring out their dogs. But then I believe that the situation of things called for it.
Yeah, because at times when I think the people actually looked up to the security agencies, the police and the soldiers to rescue them in this time of distress, but when they didn't see one, they actually took their own they took it upon themselves to bring out their dogs for security purpose.
To get themselves protected.
Yeah, so what does that really say about the whole thing?
See, the truth is, we all know, like, it's not like it's something hidden. It's just open that our security agencies, most time, they fail.
Yeah.
Most of the times, they fail. Like I said before, when we started in the morning, most of them, they secure the elites and not the masses. But they should understand that this is election. It is their primary responsibility to make sure that the polling units, the electorate and everything, that the whole process goes smoothly. You understand? But then, you know the story. Yeah,
just like the way it was during the presidential election and the subsequent ones in 2019 and 2015 as well. Okay, but while we chastise the police officers, we have to give them kudos in some places that they actually did their work. Because I saw a video whereby the police officers arrested a ballot snatcher.
In Lagos State?
Yeah, in Lagos State. Normally speaking, we can't just flag them, or we can't rubbish them like that off completely, because they cannot be everywhere at the same time. If we are being truthful with ourselves and to be realistic.
They can't be everywhere for sure. But those ones that are being positioned to man a particular place, they should be able to do their job effectively.
Yeah. So those police. So let's have the video where the ballot box snatcher was being arrested. Yeah, kudos to the Nigeria Police Force for actually doing the needful. But so far so good. The ballot snatchers that have been arrested, in the past, we didn't see prosecution.
That's the issue. We only hear that they've been arrested, and now after they've been arrested, what happens next?
What's next?
They will arrest them and probably detain them, and that will be the only thing we hear. That's if at all they will be detained. Most times they just hear they were arrested and the story ends there. I don't know. Okay, we have a situation report. PDP commissioner in Bauchi State buying votes in presence of security personnel. What?
Yeah, that was how we saw it. I don't even think it was the Naira note. I think it was hard currency or something.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I think down here in the southern parts there was a little bit of violence, but I think it was just the transactional politics.
I heard someone say something there today. How come all these what's it called? This violence, the thug attack and everything. Why is it that it's just in the south that we are experiencing all these things? What's happening in the north? We're not even getting much reports like that of things happening in the north. We only see that people are voting, the election is going smoothly, and you can agree with me that They do the normal way, the normal doings. They
needful.
do. Yeah, no.
Yeah, you notice during the presidential election, we're seeing much results from the South here, even on social media and the likes. We're not really seeing the results from the North.
From the North. They know how they do their stuff.
Yeah, a particular time, you just got to a particular time, we were just seeing millions of votes, we were just dropping in.
It got to a point people were like, what is happening in the North? You know, I actually saw a picture whereby someone, a bike was carrying a GP tank. And then, you know, on a funny note though, they said they are carrying that's how the result coming from the North will be like.
From the, some people even tag some states in the North, the Kardashians, the Kano, Kaduna, and Katsina states.
And Kebbi.
And Kebbi as well. That once they bring out their vote like this, come on, you just see.
It will swallow the Southeast and the South, everything. You know.
And for real, I think it actually swallowed it.
I don't know if I'm to say they are the giants of Nigeria.
Well, they proved themselves during the presidential election with the amount of votes that was being gotten.
But what I don't understand is why a security personnel will be there and a political party or a politician will be buying votes, and then in the presence of security personnel. That's very bad in a society like Nigeria, in a country like Nigeria.
Well, I think it says a lot about the system of government in Nigeria, because it's just as if everything is just on paper. The rules and regulations, the laws of the land are just on paper, but when it gets to the reality of things, you see that they don't actually exist. Because INEC would come out and say it is punishable under the Electoral Act that you cannot buy vote, you must not do this, you must not do that.
Even the ones caught, they don't get punished.
They don't get punished. Even those people that we saw today, you know, verbally telling, like in broad daylight, telling people that if you are not voting for APC or if you are not voting for any other party, just go home. Nobody was prosecuted during the presidential election. Even up till now, even some people were inciting violence, like if you know you will not vote for us, go home. What have they done to them?
Absolutely nothing.
Nothing. So is it going to just continue like this? I think it's not really a good one, because the world is watching Nigeria, and we tend to place ourselves as giant of Africa.
All right, the video is there. We are
You can see they were even queuing, like, please let it get to my turn, let me collect my share of the national.
See, I don't know. I just, like, in this time and age, I think Nigerians should have overgrown this. You know, how can you sell your conscience for peanuts? And then at the end of the day, we'll still be the ones to come back to complain. Things are not working, things are not working. They're not treating us well, nothing is moving, this is happening. Whereby you sold it. You know, when you sell your conscience, you don't need to complain. I always say.
You don't have the right to complain.
You don't have the right.
Because the next
Because whoever you sold your conscience to owns you.
Of course. For the next 4 years, you've sold that 4 years of that person's administration. Let's say you sold your vote for 10,000 naira now. Just divide 10,000 naira by 4 years, by 4. That means you sold 1 year for 2,500 naira. Well, it just boils down to the rate of poverty in the country, because when the people are not in poverty, when the people have when they have money, you can't really buy them easily.
I see poverty as a mindset. If you say if you are poor, then you don't have to keep doing things that will keep you on that poverty stage. You have to work to liberate yourself and move out of it. You know, most Nigerians or an average Nigerian can't even provide for himself. How much more for his family? And then this is a time whereby we need to do the right thing to make sure that things change. And then you still go back to the old system of collecting money. And then you come back to say, nothing is working.
You will notice that in Ikorodu, before this governorship election, some people actually protested, some women, that they were promised money in exchange of voting for a particular candidate. Even in Bauchi State or something, I think Bauchi State, yeah. Some people protest. They said they collected their account numbers, but they were not given any money. So I think it's not even.
How can someone collect your account number when even transfer is not working in Nigeria?
You see, some people are just you know, anything you can call them. But I think it now boils down to the people. The people are now asking for this money and not the other way around, by a politician begging to buy the votes. I think some people have actually lost faith completely in the system, that they feel like, let me sell my votes now.
And I believe that's why most people didn't even come out today to vote. Like we saw in Lagos State, most of the polling units were even empty.
Yes. There's a particular video in Enugu State whereby the ad hoc staff were actually waiting for people to come and vote. People were not, the turnout was really low. So it was low. Okay, regards that insecurity again, ballot box snatcher was being lynched at Okota, Lagos State. A ballot box snatcher was being lynched there. It was that same Okota that the people brought out dogs as well. I think later, after the problems and the issues, police officers later waded into the matter. But you know, the deed has been done as well then, and the guy actually lost his life. A thug, to be precise.
Oh, wow.
He lost his life there. So election shouldn't be do or die affair. You know, people should not die in politicians' wars. Those people now, you won't see them out there now. Their children are safe in UK, US, or somewhere else. Now during the inauguration, they will bring them in after they've used you to secure their own next 4 to 8 years. So I don't think any sane human being would actually allow himself to get killed in their war. I don't think so.
Yeah, okay, we have some feedback here from our viewers. We have Mark Jacob. Thanks for joining us. He said, APC is not a good political party and Nigeria got worse under APC. Osahon said, which word greed has eaten us all? Understand that one? He also said, we have no government. Well, we do have a government, just that we've not been favored with good
one. Let's take a look at that video where the ballot box snatcher was being lynched by the people. I think the people were really angry. There's anger out there.
Aren't you angry?
Well, I'm very angry right now. Can you just come and snatch ballot box when we actually want to use this means to change the next 4 years? And
see, the truth, if things are done very well in this country, I don't think there will be need for ballot box and ballot paper. I don't think there will be need for ballot box and ballot paper if we should do things. If we say we are in this technology age, in this computer age, whereby election and results are to be done electronically, I don't think there is need for paper. Yeah.
I think it should be. I brought up a kind of idea, like if we have something like the ATM machines, then your voter's card will be something like the debit card.
You don't even have to. You don't need to have much. Just one.
Just one.
Your national ID card with your NI. Your national ID card
should be incorporated to get
that.
Yeah.
You know. And then, if you want to go cast, there should be a machine whereby you
slot in your card,
or you slot in to vote for the candidates that you want. Then it goes directly to the INEC. You don't need to start thumbprinting and everything.
Yeah, it should just go directly to the server. Let's just say you have the machine now, you slot in your card. We just have 2 ad hoc staffs, one by the left and one by the right, telling people, just directing them that, okay, this is how you vote. And we'll have someone maybe just few steps behind.
Yeah.
So those ad hoc staff would not influence the person voting, just to be able to get what they are saying there. So by the time it brings out your name, then you confirm, it shows your image there. Then those political parties would show on the screen. You click on it, and it tells you successful, you voted. You can remove your card. Bye-bye.
You voted for or anything.
Then you just go and immediately you can even open it from your phone. Just go to inec.org.ng, then you start seeing the result dropping in. Just be like all those virtual bet Nigeria.
That is how it should be. That is how it should be.
But we noticed so far that our politicians would not want to build a kind of system that would lock them out. They don't want the power to go back to the people, like let the people have control. They want to keep on having that ability to decide and influence.
I think that's the slogan of a particular political party in this country. Power belongs to the people, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. But you know, some political party, their slogan is power belongs to the people, but they don't even want the power to come down to the people at all.
The whole thing, the ball is in our
So
court.
can we now say that slogan is irony or something?
Whoever that created it probably had a good intention. But, you know, the way things are in this country, you know, when power gets to you, you don't want to let go of it. You want to continue because power sometimes can be intoxicating. Yes, it can be intoxicating.
But I think it's those who attain political posts for the service to humanity. Those are those kind of people that will feel like, let the power go away then. Well, after 4 years, I know I've done this to the people, I've done this, I've done that, and my name would never leave the history if you know you've done well. So I think that should be okay for those people who have really worked, not those ones who are going there to embezzle funds. Because the more they get there and they realize that the money is just too much there, they will not want to leave the seat anymore. And they realize that the power I'm just waiting here, you know, when you have too much resources that you're controlling, you won't want to live there anymore. So it depends on your motive of actually aspiring for the post. All right, let's also look at harassment of voters by political thugs. it's not only in Lagos State. We saw, series of harassment in Benue State, in Anambra State, in Oyo State, Ogun State as well. It is just too much everywhere. That's why the NSA came out to say that this governorship election would actually be a very tough one.
Like, I actually had I have someone who was arrested and taken to the police station this afternoon in Lagos State.
Wow.
He's a polling unit
agent.
And he said a lot of things because I needed to get feedback on what was happening in his polling unit. So I had to put a call across, and he told me, I thought we've outgrown this at this time. Even since some security agents were working for a particular political party. And that's very bad.
Wow. So is he now safe?
Yeah, he's been released.
He has been released. Wow, very good, very good. But he shouldn't have been arrested at the first instance. You see, when you actually try to when you actually try to gag the people's voice, I think you just allow them to react. They'll just start reacting anyway.
You can't beat a child and expect the child not to cry.
Exactly.
It's not done.
Exactly. You have to choose between beating the child, allow him to cry, or leave him. Don't even flog him at all. All right, an update right now. Just an hour ago, after so much deliberating and begging, INEC have finally decided to start the voting process in VGC.
Since morning.
Since morning.
That's so bad. Since morning. Oh, wow.
I think it's just the kind of delay tactics from INEC.
I think I saw a video. I saw a video whereby some INEC officials were lamenting that they've all gathered to their takeoff point, and then there was no vehicle for them to be taken to their
various polling
units.
Well, it's just something else. All right, let's take a look at the video of the VGC voting. And Festus Okoye came out a few weeks back to say that this machine has been programmed to start working by a particular time. Maybe by 8 o'clock, and stop working at a particular time. And these people they just started voting an hour ago. So that's why I always ask.
Don't forget that during or before the presidential election, the INEC chairman himself did make a promise.
Of course.
He made a lot of promises, and Nigerians believed him. And that was why there was that massive turnout.
Yes.
During the presidential election. And then a lot of people believe that for them to have failed that time, is it now that they want to do the right thing? You understand? So most people didn't even want to believe or even hear anything they had to say. That's why in some polling units, like I said earlier today, the turnout was just, it was
very low.
Very low.
I would even fault the INEC on that, because aside the Electoral Act, which states that they must transmit the result, Ahmed Lawan came out to say that the transmission of results was not stipulated in the Electoral Act that it must be electronically, like electronic transmission. But you're dealing with BVAS machine. It is not manual. It's an electronic device, and it's worked with the IR server, which means you have to transfer it electronically. And even the people came out to say that INEC chairman, you are not going to obey this thing. Let us give us assurance again. Then he made a video. He promised. Then there was even a letter, there was even a press release from INEC as a body that they would not sabotage their own plans by themselves. But we've noticed that they're not even trying to redeem their lost glory. Or did they even have any glory at all? Their battered image, they didn't even try to redeem it at all. And I don't think it's really good, because there's too much hopes and aspiration on the people. They look so high on him because of the promise they actually made.
We have a feedback here from Brenda Chidima Imo Eze. He said, I agree with you. I have always said that the only way electoral malpractices would end is when your PVC is linked to your BVN or phone number. That way electoral malpractices would be in check.
Some people will tell you, when I shared the idea with some people, they said, what happens to those people in the rural areas that they don't really know much about, technology?
There can be someone there to put them through.
Are you sure they won't be vote buying there as well? Like they'll use your hand to press the party like this, vote for this one, piam. This is Nigeria. It's just as if when you bring out a new idea, someone comes out with another plan to sabotage that idea, no matter how beautiful it is. So I think the INEC chairman might have actually came out with this BVAS plan to curb all kinds of voting malpractices. But along the line, someone else came up with a plan that was able to disconnect the beavers and their IRF. So now some people even came out to say that in particular polling unit in Surulere, the presiding officer was stating clearly in open place that there would be no uploading of results from the polling unit.
Now the question is why?
You know, maybe that was what they told them that they should do. They can't do it single-handedly on their own. It's not just possible.
All right. The election is I believe that in some places the election is already over.
Yeah. In some places in Enugu State,
the counting of the results is already
the counting
ongoing.
of vote.
Yeah, the counting of votes is already ongoing. We have a report here. INEC begins online uploading of election results. 3 states have been captured so far. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has commenced the process of transferring the results of the gubernatorial election to the Integrated Results and Electoral Platform, that's IREV. Okay, the states so far is Zamfara. 46 polling units have been uploaded. Then 40 polling units in Lagos State have been successfully uploaded as well.
Wow. That's a good one from INEC, because right now it is still early. It's still early. This is just 4 o'clock, and I think they're on the right path. It was not like the presidential election. So on this one, I can actually give
those states that have lesser local governments, like state like Abia that has just 17 local governments. Election should have been over by now.
Well, some people, they didn't start early. Let's just take an example of the VGC scenario, whereby the INEC guys actually told them to come to the Express, even after,
Now the question, why will you go to the Express? Why?
I think it's just the delay tactics, because they have a particular spot that they've been voting for over the years, and they've set up the space already. They're not telling them to come to the Express to do what?
Probably when they get to the Express, they will not say, sorry, let's go back.
Let's go back.
Just to buy time,
So they have to wait there. Well, so moving forward, let's look at the video of Nollywood actress Chioma Akpota as she narrates a horrible voting experience. These talks are not even, respecting public figures.
Really? Now the question is, why are they always attacking her? Remember during the presidential election, she was also, her polling unit was attacked. And then she made a video, I was like, they're attacking us, And I also remember how some Nollywood a particular Nollywood actress attacked her, like, must you make a video? They're attacking me, they're even making jest of her. And now here she is again.
I'm driving when I had to run.
You have to make a video. You need to have video evidence. If you don't have video evidence, how can you just come out and say someone attacked you? You don't have anything to back up your claim. Let's take a look at the video where Chioma Akpota was being attacked, and she narrated her experience.
I'm driving when I had to run out. They destroyed my side mirrors, hit my car. I don't even know. But why not up? Now why? I don't even know the extent of the damage to the car, but I just ran out for my life because they were bringing out knives. They wanted to stab me and all of that. Thank God I came with some people to help me. So I'm driving. Who did you give? Oh God, guys! Oh my God! Oh my God!
The guy was with a pistol, right?
Yes, he was trying to bring out something. So it was the knife that was the distraction.
So I'm going over to where the army are, because we went to turn at VGC. I'm going to go and tell them, don't you stop. Go
back, I'm done.
Okay. God, I'm tired of these things. I don't even know what to say. I'm tired. I'm tired.
I don't understand.
What happened to the free and fair election that they promised us? Nothing is free and fair. You want? Why? Why you're intimidating people? The long queue that we had during the presidential election, we were like 20 people, and it was just all different sorts of people. I just brought out my phone, I made a call and tried to tell people that I'm at the polling unit, I'm ready to vote. This guy came. The guy wearing white came. I had to run for my life. If not, I would have made a video inside there. This one was not even, let's scatter this. They were directly attacking me like it was just me. So I'm here. During the presidential election, we were like 20 people, and and it was just all different sorts of people. I just brought out my phone, I made a call, and tried to tell people that I'm at the polling unit, I'm ready to vote. This guy came. The guy wearing white came. I had to run for my life. If not, I would have made a video inside there. This one was not even, let's scatter this. They were directly attacking me, like it was just me. So I'm here. Let me meet the army. Around VGC, we saw them when we were turning. We saw them. Yeah.
I can't believe.
Good morning.
What happened to me today was just
please,
like,
I need your
it'd be
help.
like what would they do for film?
I need your help. No, they attacked
if
me.
the person come, just these people come from this angle, this will come from this angle. Make sure you attack the person, shoot the shot from this angle. Make sure you get the medium shot, close up shot of the person, of the victim, close up shot of the person attacking, and all of that. Get the weapons in shot. This is exactly what happened to me today. It be like film. Not be film, or you want to film than they do. Now film. They do for Nigeria. It be like film. One particular guy was saying to me, Choma, we deal with you for NSAS, so I deal with you for NSAS. The next thing he said was, but with this one, I no deal with you. Immediately he made that statement. I told my brother, let me vote and leave this place. He was shouting. Then one other guy was saying, look at her now. This is Choma. Look at her. She's covering her face. She's tying her hair. I said, why are you shouting my name? Am I the only person coming here to vote? Why are you yelling? Why are you calling me? It wasn't up to like 2 seconds. Those guys came in. They kicked at my car. They bamboozled. In fact, hey, Achopolum go, okay? They chased me like a rat inside my own country. It's bad. Guys, it's bad. It's bad. Last election, the one the president.
All right, you're welcome back. If you are still watching, if you're watching this program, you can click on the like button. You can as well do well to drop your comment. Let's have your comment. What do you feel about the whole governorship election process? So far, so good from the report you're having on your hand there. Let's take a look at our comment.
Yes, we have a comment here. We have comment from Mark Jacob. He said APC is about to destroy Nigeria. I don't really think it's about the political party.
I think it's about the people.
It's about the people, not the party. The party doesn't have a problem, but the people. That's the people that has issue there. Okay, he also said APC started all this. Tinubu and his group. Okay. Before the presidential election, we were having hope for a new and better Nigeria. APC destroyed the process. Nigeria will never be peaceful. Nobody's praying for that.
Well, I wouldn't want anybody to, I wouldn't advise anybody to swear for Nigeria. You know, when a country is going through all these kind of things, we need to pray. Because it is just like as if you're adding fuel to the fire.
Did you say pray?
Well, we can as well just say good things about the country, positive things. Like things we hope the country to be like. Let's just keep on saying it while we, you know, take the right step, the bold step to actually do that. All right, well, there was violence in some part of the country. There were other parts whereby there was, you know, relative ease. Everything was just, you know, floating, city, whatever. Let's take a look at a video in Enugu State. Elections each free in some parts of Enugu State. They were even waiting for people to come and vote. They were just sitting there under the tree. You know, then speaking about Enugu State, you know, there's something about the Enugu State. Enugu State has a Labour Party president, governorship candidate. Okay. PDP has, and APC also has, and then, but you know, someone called me earlier today from Enugu State. The person was like, the candidates that these political parties fielded for the governorship position, you know, that most of them, I don't want to go into in-depth of what he said, but then I believe that in the southeast today, the election there is actually going smoothly. I also got a call from a friend who stays in Imo State to inquire for him what's happening in Imo State. He said everything is moving on smoothly. Okay. So I was like, could it be because Imo State has, in recent time, have been recorded to be one of the violent states in the southeast. So I was like, could it be because the governorship election is not holding at this time?
It's just the State House of Assembly, because ordinarily you would have started getting reports of what is happening there.
Yeah, because Kogi State too, as well, as we have seen, they are not, today is not their governorship election, they just, the House of Assembly and the like. So I think they are not really taking it as so serious, unlike those states that
most people are not even coming out to vote, as if the House of Assembly is not their business or something. Okay, we have a report here. INEC official declares no uploading of results from polling units to IREF. Why?
Yeah, it happened in Surulere.
This Surulere, remember that during the presidential election, it was still this same Surulere that thugs scattered the whole process and chased people away, and then ballot papers were being thrown inside gutters, and all of that. So why is that place always like this?
Well, you see, those polling unit agents, those ad hoc staffs, the core members, they can't work on their own. Those things they're saying, they're not saying it by themselves. Someone would actually tell them to say this, tell them to do these things. You know, in a particular polling unit as well, somewhere else in Lagos State as well, the core member, the polling, the APU and the presiding officer as well, said that they would not be uploading the result from there because they didn't have the password to the beavers to upload the results.
So whose responsibility is it to upload?
They said they told them to, you know, come to the collation center. Yeah, after the election. So you see, it's not as if they are doing it on their own. There are some people behind, you know, behind what's it called? You know, behind the scene that are actually pulling these plugs. They can't just, all of them would actually report back to the state collation center. So I think that's where, you know, everything they want to do actually unfold. Okay,
still in Lagos State, we have polling unit 027, Efako Jaye by Ajayi Road, Ogba. You know, I think they've already started the counting of votes there.
Well, I think Jaye Ogba is quite peaceful. There is no problem around that area.
I believe that's where you stay.
Yeah, that's where I stay. That's where I stay. So we are just peaceful people there. We don't like problem. Just vote for anybody you like, then just go on peacefully.
Voting for anybody you like, it doesn't end there. See, like I heard someone say something and I believe it.
Okay.
When you're done voting, that is where the whole you've
you
voted. You have to stay there to make sure that these votes are actually being transmitted into the IREF
server. Well, yeah, on another report here, we have from Enugu South, another report. Honorable Freedom Nnam of Enugu South PDP chairman threatening and chasing Labour Party voters and agents with his talks at Maryland Ward 13, Enugu South. Yeah. You know, why some part in Enugu State is peaceful, some part as well, you know, so everywhere can't be violent.
I believe that those areas that are not peaceful probably is the polling unit of a particular aspirant. And then you wouldn't want to lose. You wouldn't want to lose in your own polling unit. So you do everything possible to guide the votes there.
Well, and also I'm of this opinion that those particular polling units that you see violence, I think that is some, you know, the stronghold that those political parties are really looking at. But if a particular polling unit is not the stronghold like that, they just feel like, okay, let them just bring anything out of this polling unit. But you see the main places that you feel like, okay, if you can win this polling unit, if you can win this local government, you have won the election. I think it is always bound to be rough in those part of places. So I think that's just why, you know, we recorded peace in some part, and in some part as well, you know, it was chaos.
On our feedback, we have Oluwashegu Oladimeji. He said, God did not recognize Nigeria in the prayer chart because he did not create Nigeria, but separate entities, no peace in Nigeria.
Well, I think I have to agree with him because he said God didn't create Nigeria. For real. Is it God that joined the Northern and Southern Protectorate together? It was Lord God that did it. So it was not as if maybe
but God had Nigeria in mind, in plan. And we are still in this mess that we are in 1960. We don't even have stable electricity. God, I beg. You know, there are other countries that they even, you know, you even forget that you have light.
in Nigeria, even if they start bringing light now for the next 24 hours, you start feeling like you start feeling uneasy. Like, what's going on? NEPA is here to take light. It's like if they take this light, we are going to suffer for it for the next 3 years.
Speaking of that, I have someone that traveled to the States, I think late last year. Okay. He said when he got there that the feeling of mosquito was just around him for 3 months. Sometimes he would just do his ear like this. And all of them, like, until now, be like, I'm no more in Nigeria, or this is outside the country, and all of that. So I had to ask again, what about light? Did you for one day feel that, will NEPA bring light? Will they take light?
Or you feel like, let me quickly go and charge my phone before they take light? This kind of thing. Well, I believe maybe, you know, in the next 30 years, 40 years, you know, a time would come whereby we can't continue like this.
That's a long time.
Would
40
come.
years.
I don't know, even if it will take eternity, but we can't continue like this. Someone has to come and change the status quo and make Nigeria work again. All right, do we have the video whereby Honorable Freedom Nam in the Enugu South PDP chairman, where he was there with his dogs, you know, chasing the Labour Party voters and agents at Maryland Ward 13 in Enugu South. Let's have the video quickly.
All right, I don't know if you can also get the video. Let's see how the counting of votes is going in that Ajayi Road, Ogba.
Yeah, in Ajayi Road, Ogba. Let's get a video where they were counting the vote as well. Vote counting has started in some part of the state as well. So I think this one's actually very fast. It was fast, unlike the presidential election. Maybe due to the fact that governorship is just in a particular state.
Yeah, it's just within.
The presidential election, you know, before things from the north, from the southwest, from the southeast, the middle belt as well. All right, on the next one in Rivers State, let's go down south to the Rivers State. Okay, do we have the video? All right, let's check it out.
Okay, there's a report we have. Labour Party Revival loses polling unit to Sanwo-Olu.
Yeah. It's lost its polling unit to the governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu. Well,
the only man who went to the club yesterday.
Well, maybe it's because Badebo didn't go to club. He didn't go to, you know, comfortably to fix phones for people. And he didn't also, you know, plate air for some people as well. Well, but that's just normal. It's normal thing. Asiwaju Bola Tinubu lost in Lagos State and he won some other states in the north and probably in the southeast and the south as well.
And from the results we've been seeing online, even though we are not really sure until they have been announced by INEC. Yeah. So far, the Labour Party governorship candidate in Lagos State is pulling weight. Yeah,
as well, normally. And also, let's go straight to the southern side of Nigeria, where the APC party agent and supporters allegedly chased away some people from the polling unit for the fact that they were not voting for the PDP. Anyone who choose not to vote for the PDP in that polling unit were being chased away.
I think the Rivers State Governor, Nyesom Wike, like this is last tenure, so he's doing everything possible to make sure that he hands over to his party.
Well,
even though he was against his party during the presidential election, like we all saw on social media.
Well, I think it's just a dicey one, but in the actual sense of it, in the normal sense, it shouldn't be so. In some part of the country, we are seeing a place whereby the PDP are stopping other parties from voting them. We see some whereby the APC are saying that other parties should not vote for any other person aside them.
Yeah,
it's just, you know.
The reason is this, all right? Like, for example, in Lagos State, whereby APC is the ruling party.
Yeah.
So they will find it like difficult for another political party to take over when their term is not over. You get? Unlike River State, PDP is the ruling party. You understand? The same thing in Abia State, whereby PDP is the ruling party. I saw a video whereby PDP supporters allegedly were chasing people away if they were not going to vote for PDP. And also there was a video of a young man who came out openly to make a threat that if you're coming out on the election day, which is today, to vote and you're not voting for PDP, they will deal with you.
Well, it's just a normal thing we've been seeing so far so good today. Some, you know, reports of violence somewhere, then report of you know, calm another place as well. Let's come back to Lagos State again for the Guber polls. As a man narrates his experience with thugs in Agor Palace, Okota, Lagos. There were reports, you know, too many reports of violence, you know, within that space.
It seems like Lagos State is becoming the epicenter of violence, especially in this election period.
Well, that's what many people have been saying on the social media space. That, you know, the center of excellence shouldn't be known as the center of violence when it comes to the election.
Center of excellence, center of violence.
You know, something like that. So if we are saying that this is the center of excellence, after or before the election, it has to replicate that excellence. It has to, you know, come up with excellent election performance, not the other way around. But we've seen so far so good, you know, thuggery, you know, ballot box snatching and the likes, which is not too good. Let's take a look at the video.
We are there. They passed and they closed the gate. And I was telling the police guy, why would they close gates? Why would they close the gate? And the guy didn't, he was not even observant. The next thing they came, we were pushing the guys away. They were slapping people. So I have to defend myself. You can't come and just slap me as a young man. You can't just come and beat me. I have to protect myself. So I was fighting one guy. 5 of them started coming out. Yeah, we were with weapons, started beating me and plants.
Well, what polling unit?
At Balogun.
Balogun.
Yeah, that's inside Balogun Street. That's 034. Yeah.
In which area?
And I go Akota Road.
Okay, moving on, let's travel to the east right now.
Yeah,
in Anambra State, Idemli North Obose polling unit result is concluded. Counting has also started.
Yeah, just like we saw it in Ifakwa local government in Lagos State. In the east as well, there are some parts that have started the counting. So there's a video where they were doing the counting.
Meanwhile, Anambra State is not, there is no governorship election going on in Anambra State. It's just a State House of Assembly election that is going on there. Let's see the video and see how the counting is going.
Labour, 13, Labour, 14, Labour, 15, Labour, 16, Labour, 17, Labour, 18, Labour, 19, Labour, 20, Labour, 220, Labour, 220.
In River State, House of Assembly election result from Woji Ward 6 polling unit 070 is out.
Yeah, it is out, and they have started counting the result as well. Well, I think before the end of the day, we should be having majority of the results.
Just like what happened in Osun State during the Osun State gubernatorial election, the results were announced in the midnight.
Yeah. All right. The result is being counted in many parts of the country. We would go on a break now to bring you more reports as well. Stay tuned and keep watching Flip TV. We will be back right now.
A new day has finally come for citizens with disabilities in Nigeria. You can now participate in the electoral processes without any worry whatsoever. The new Electoral Act of 2022 has made robust provisions to ensure persons with disabilities are not left out of the electoral process. The Disability Act and the Electoral Act has mandated INEC to provide special assistance for citizens with disabilities at the polling booth. As a citizen with a disability, you are entitled to non-discrimination, priority voting, braille ballots for the blind, magnifying glasses for albinos, election day instructions to support the deaf, among other provisions. So, when you arrive at your polling unit on election day, all you need to do is present yourself to the polling officer in charge and you will be given the required support. It is your right by law. Now, nothing can stop you from being part of the electoral process. You are a citizen, and with your voter's card, you are one of the owners of Nigeria. Go out and make your voice heard as we recruit those that will serve us on election day. This message is brought to you by the Campaign for Equal Voting Access, a program of the Center for Citizens with Disabilities.
You're welcome back to the program. All right, we have some feedback here from our viewers. We have Oluwashegu Oladimeji. He said, no, God did not have Nigeria in his mind, but the politicians we have to separate. He also said, Wahala is doing press up in the gym before attacking the country. We have to go our separate ways. This guy is just patronizing the viewers with his comments. Not a serious program. It's a serious program, sir.
A very serious program, to be precise. All right, looking at another violent report here coming from the southeastern part of the country. APGA and the Labour Party supporters clashed in Anambra.
Anambra is an APGA state. It's an APGA ruling state. The governor of Anambra State came out.
Charles Soludo
from APGA, and then
the presidential candidate of Labour Party as well. Came out from that party.
Yes, it's from Anambra State
and from APGA as well.
No, not from APGA.
It was an APGA.
Okay, he was
an APGA when it was the governor of the state, before he actually went to the PDP, then the Labour Party as well. So I think that is just a kind of in-house turbulence between the APGA and the Labour Party as well. And Labour Party there, I think they are trying to outwit APGA in that state.
Because most of them are of the opinion that the present governor of Anambra State is not really doing well. And I don't know what they mean by that, because from what we are seeing, even though he just got into office, though, it's not up to a year.
Yeah.
I think he's trying, though, but, people always say what they have to say.
People would always have their own reservations.
And opinions.
And their opinion as well. So we've seen that in many states, they've started counting the stuffs. Even right here, the one we have video in front of me right now, it's in Surulere. Some part of Surulere, they've started counting the result as well. So let's just say in the next probably 5, 6, 7 hours, we should be having result in some state, like results being announced by INEC. Already
in Abia State, I love talking about Abia, maybe because it's my state too. In Abia State, I saw a report on Twitter whereby they're already calling the Labour Party governorship candidates, that's Alex Oti, the governor.
So without seeing any announced results from INEC, how can you call anybody governor-elect?
Yeah, they said he has won in Bende, local government area, and also some parts of Umuahia.
Wow.
Probably that's why.
Wow. All right, some institution report, votes counting at Vanilla Cottage, Apple Junction, Lagos State. In so many parts of Lagos State, the counting has started already. I think before nightfall, we should be having a glimpse at who would actually emerge as the winner of the governorship polls. But I think due to the violence and some voter suppression and the likes, do you see this thing getting to the court or something?
I wouldn't say because it's an open election. It's an open election. So the only restriction that might occur is if the results are not being uploaded. You understand? That would be the only restriction. But aside of that, we should be able to know who the next governor is before tomorrow morning.
But right now, the results are being uploaded online, according to what the update I'm getting now.
If there wouldn't be any manipulation, that's the same thing happened during the presidential election. If there wouldn't be any manipulation in some units, Or do I say in some local governments?
In some local government
yes,
areas.
if there wouldn't be any manipulation, then the results should be out before tomorrow.
Yeah, it should be out. By this time tomorrow, we should start, we should start calling some people my governor, or, we should be having new people at, in the House of Assembly as well, the State House of Assembly. So do you see, because Desmond Elliott, as we know, have been having glitches with the youth since after the NSAS protest. Do you see Desmond Elliott, winning, like having the last laugh on the youth, or, the youth doing, taking him out of the office?
From my own observation, like following what I've been seeing on Twitter recently, the youth, they are out against Desmond Elliott. Because of a singular mistake that he made.
Yeah.
You understand? I remember that during the NSAS, he called the protesters children.
Children, yes.
And indeed. Then some of them are like, okay, we children will deal with you in this third time that you're vying for.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't see him going back. But if he eventually goes back, I don't think he's a bad one. He's also a youth, but then probably next time he will not know how to use his words.
Yeah, and I think both the presidential and governorship election, I think it has brought in a kind of new paradigm shift into the Nigerian political space.
Obviously.
Because right now, even the governorship aspirant, they are not relaxing anymore. You see a particular governorship aspirant running from pillar to post to make sure that he aligns with the youth. Because most of them don't really buy into the idea of they just feel like, okay, if we have the thugs with us, then we have the money to
we know what to do.
We know what to do, exactly. So I think after this election, they would actually, sit tight and ensure that they do what they ought to do.
I heard someone say something once, and I really believe it. The person said that even though what the agitations of the youth during the presidential election was not achieved to the brim, you understand? But then, the way they coordinated themselves and the way they came out spoke volume.
Yeah, it actually made a huge statement.
Yes.
You see, I was in the mosque on Friday, and I actually loved what the Imam said. He said he saw a series of videos whereby last-mile officials were begging the masses, like they were begging the masses to forgive them. He said it was now like, so these people, you actually know that what you're doing, what you've been doing over these years is wrong.
You understand? They can't disobey their paymaster.
Yeah?
They can't disobey their paymaster.
Well, I wouldn't say maybe they disobey or they don't disobey their paymasters, but they should know that it is the people on the street that will decide elections.
The question is, when you destroy where you eat from, how would you feed? You have to guide it. You have to protect it. And that is what is happening.
At the expense of who?
It doesn't really matter.
You will notice that for the past few weeks now that the last man they left the road. There is so much peace on the road. There's a particular place, a particular spot in Ojudubega whereby they've done something like a trap there. That once you drive past that kind of space, there's something there that they'll just use to catch you, like, okay, you've disobeyed the traffic rule. Then they take you down to a particular POS woman, then they take off your money illegally. So I think I just noticed that there is a kind of peace on the road now that we don't have our last month officials on the road anymore. So I think when they are coming back, if by any means the Lagos State governor emerges again and he gets a second term, I think they would really reduce the kind of pressure they put on the people out there.
The truth is, no matter who wins, particularly in Lagos State, no matter who wins, who becomes the next governor of Lagos State, whoever it is, the person will definitely sit up.
Yeah.
Because there is pressure to
Yeah, that's it. I'm looking at other states as well. Are we seeing a kind of surprise when it comes to the House of Assembly? Because the Labour Party actually won some seats during the presidential election, in the Federal House of Assembly. They actually won some seats.
See, the thing
is, unseat some, would I say indigenous politicians who have been there for over 20 years.
A typical example is what in Abia State, whereby the present governor of Abia State lost his seat.
Even the governor of Plateau State.
Even the governor of Enugu State, they call him Buruburu, Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi. He lost his state, like he lost this notorious seat that he was vying for. You understand? And in a state like Rivers, I'm just seeing updates on Twitter. You know, Twitter is a place whereby you can get the like first-hand information as it drop. You understand? So I saw this video and responses from people. They were saying they were uploading the results from polling units, and it seemed like the Labour Party governorship candidate, which is a woman, her vote is even like is much more than the APC and the PDP. That's from what we've seen so far.
Well, we have a report right now. President Muhammadu Buhari saying that the outcome of the gubernatorial and state House of Assemblies will favor APC. Like, will favor APC. There is a lot of, weight in that word. What does that mean?
Sometimes I just wish some things are not said, to just leave it the way it is and let the whole process be completed first. That's the same thing that happened during the presidential election, whereby the sitting president goes to vote and then shows everyone who he has voted for, which is not supposed to be like that. It's not
supposed to be so.
So, now only I know what it means.
He said, like, they will, like saying APC will win all the governorship election and the House of Assembly as well. It's like, as a president, not just anybody, as a president. I think some people will interpret it as saying that he's saying that authoritatively APC will win. Like, even beyond all things, above all powers, like either by hook or by crook. Some people had that word there as a prefix, that either by hook or by crook APC will win. So I think that word actually has, a lot of diversity in it. So many people will dissect it in different ways. Like maybe he's just saying it like just a normal APC chieftain or something, or from somewhere else as well.
He is our president. Probably he knows what he's saying, or he understands why he said so. Yeah. Okay, we have some feedback here from our viewers. Oluwashegu had to reply someone that said he's patronizing the viewers. So he said, "I'm not patronizing viewers with my comments, but saying the fact. 40 years ago, I was in this country when things were going well because of regional governments, but now the Fulani we are trying to take over." Abidemi Goswill Ekpo said, "Break up Nigeria to save lives."
Wow.
I don't know about that. I'm an ardent silent watcher of Flip TV. Thumb up, my best TV for the masses. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We appreciate that.
Thank you.
Greetings, my house. Please, what is the gain of all these TV presenters when all the report has not value?
Well, I think I love what that particular person said about regional system of government. There was a day I sat down with my dad and was explaining how the regional system of government actually worked. And I was, in my imagination, I was trying to see myself in that picture. Like, how was Nigeria then? Maybe 1963, 1964, 1965. So I was just like, why can't we go back to this system of government?
Probably they were not gaining enough.
The masses were gaining then. Even there was a time when President Yakubu Gowon came out to say that the problem of Nigeria is not that we don't have money. The problem was that, how are we going to spend the money? Then see, too much of money. If anyone should open his mouth and say that Nigeria does not have money, is it too late for me personally? I feel like it's either you are among those people taking the money away, or you don't know what you're talking about. Because the Nigeria we have today, that we've always had, it's a very, very rich country in resources, mineral resources, human resources. Imagine a country with over 200 million people, a market of its own. If we are producing some stuff, then we are selling it to ourselves, amongst ourselves, we would make millions, trillions. So it's just as if we've had so many, we have so many misplaced priorities. And one problem that Nigeria is having so far so good is just leadership. Leadership, we have everything in place. So if we can actually go back to that regional system of government, well, I don't think it's a bad one. All right, so we're still having reports of places whereby the counting of votes is still going on. The counting of votes is still going on, but as soon as they're counting the vote and it is being announced officially by INEC, we will surely be dropping the update for you guys. Quickly, let's go on a break. We'll be back soon. Stay tuned. Don't go nowhere. Keep watching the live update of the governorship elections on
and
Flip
keep
TV.
dropping your comments.
Keep
And if
dropping
you are
your
in a
comments.
particular polling unit, please send us report of what is happening there.
Now so.
All right, so in your comment section as well, we'll drop a particular number there that you can use to join us on the program. You can call in via WhatsApp, then via direct call as well. Keep watching Flip TV, don't go nowhere.
Yeah.
They don't visit this one.
Voter suppression and low voter turnout. What has happened is that INEC has virtually killed the interest of Nigerian people in the electoral process. And I don't know how we can turn this around. It's so unfortunate, it's so sad that the last election of the 25th of February apparently destroyed the people's confidence in the electoral process. It's sad. If you check the enthusiasm, the turnout today, it's a far cry from what we had on the 25th of February. And it's vintage INEC. This was what they planned, this was what they orchestrated, and the result is that Nigerians are fed up.
How would we say it was what they planned? INEC officials are on ground to do their duty. It is some individuals who are creating the upsurge, the negative upsurge. In what areas did you witness INEC not doing the needful? Their officials are the polling units with the materials to do the accreditation and the registration. So what factual evidence do you have that INEC, is part of what is creating this voter apathy?
What I'm driving at is that the election of the 25th of February, when they failed to upload the results real time, and then at the end of the day, you see mutilated results, you see the votes of one party being accredited to another party, apparently got Nigerians disenchanted, disappointed, and turned off completely. That's why you're having the low voter turnout, because nobody believes that votes count anymore. That is the issue. Then two is that you see what is going on today in several polling units in Lagos especially was predicted. It happened the last time, three weeks ago, where known thugs were seen on television threatening the people. And 3 weeks after, INEC and the security agencies never made any attempt to forestall what is going on today. Now you have places in Oshodi, in VGC, where known thugs have threatened that, if you don't vote for a particular political party, you better go home. It happened the last time, it's still happening today, and no lesson seems to have been learned. So it's a sham, it's a carrot. It's unfortunate, but that's where we are.
Yeah, you're welcome back to the program. You're welcome back to Flip TV. Let's take a look at Lagos State as well. We're still talking about Lagos State. Some APC thugs have declared a full-blown violence on voters in some part of Lagos State. Here, they were shooting there, and people running helter-skelter. Let's have the video. Okay. So people were running helter-skelter in the video, as seen there, stopped in that particular place. In some place in Oshodi Solar local government area, there was some polling that was being cancelled due to violence there.
Yes, of course, if there are violence, they should cancel the polling units, because that's what the INEC chairman said, isn't it? If there is overvoting, there is violence, the polling units will definitely be cancelled. So it's a welcome development.
But in the Electoral Act, I think there should be a rerun. There have to be a rerun if they cancel any polling units, probably due to overvoting or due to violence.
Since the process is still on, probably at the end of the whole thing, we'll get to know if they will have to rerun election in those areas.
Yeah.
We have feedback here. Let's get to read our comments. Wenga Lala said, good evening, Flip TV.
It's been long. Mr. Benga, where have you been? We've missed you. Thank you for joining us.
You guys are doing a nice job. I must be honest that I'm not pleased with the elections in 2023, even after Buhari promised a credible election. This is the worst election ever.
Wow.
He also said, Buhari has failed Nigerians woefully. This is the best of APC, and don't expect anything good from APC. APC started this whole drama in the outcome of the presidential election, gave rise to this today. If the presidential election had gone well and those who disrupted the election were seriously dealt with, should MC Oluomo was arrested after the previous election, he wouldn't have come out to cause mayhem.
Wow. Well, I think the people actually banked on the president's promise and also the INEC chairman's promise.
Nobody bagged on anything because, my opinion, you understand? Because after the presidential election, after the presidential election, a lot of people lost faith on the INEC and what they had to say.
No, I'm saying before the election.
Before the election, before the governorship, the presidential
before
election.
All elections, governorship,
after the presidential election. That is why, like I said before, that's why most people didn't even come out today. The turnout today was very poor.
Very, very poor.
Unlike the presidential election, whereby some people even had to sleep at the polling unit just to make sure that they vote early on the day of election and go to their houses. But this time around, the turnout was very, very poor, and in some states, some places in the east, they were even literally begging people that should come out and vote.
Wow. You know, before the elections, President Muhammadu Buhari made a statement that he wants to leave a legacy of free and fair election in the country. And well, personally, I didn't believe him, because politicians would always say things to persuade you to look to see situations from their own perspective. So for him to have come out to say, you don't expect the president to say that I'm going to leave a violent election, I'm going to leave a bad legacy. No. Even if you do the opposite, he will tell you that I'm going to leave a good legacy, you know, INEC, there will be free and fair elections. And same thing, the INEC chairman told that part as well, coming out to tell the people that there will be free and fair election. But what do we have today?
So well, but the elections are already here. The voting is almost done in some places, and counting is already started. So we are waiting to see what becomes of the whole thing at the end of the day.
Yeah, another report here quickly. Okpeyemi Ademion of Arise TV crew has been, you know, brutally attacked at Elegushi area, whereby the drone and the cameras were being taken away by thugs.
By thugs. I always ask, who are these thugs?
They are human beings like us.
They are citizens.
Yeah,
they are probably residents of those areas. So why are they called thugs? Why would you allow yourself to be tagged a thug? Because you're working for a particular political party.
Exactly. You know, well, I see this thing as a means of actually gagging on the voices of the media house. And when you're trying to do that, it doesn't end well. It doesn't end well at all. Let's just imagine that someone else from different media outlets go out there to cover this event. Then you take away their drone, you destroy their cameras. What message are you passing to them? So now, let's say someone emerges from this kind of means. Then the electorates know what to expect from that kind of government.
That comes to what one of the presidential candidates said when he was being interviewed on Arise TV. He said, if you must be addressed as your excellency, then let the process through which you emerged as your excellency, let it be excellent.
Yeah.
You understand? So I don't really know whereby... We have a comment here. We have Wenga Lala. He said, we are all mature, and let's be honest with ourselves. Nigeria can't work like this, and we should expect more of this kind of violent election next 4 years. Please, God, we're not praying for that, honestly. Buhari has failed Nigeria. Posterity would judge him.
Well, the election is almost over. It's just almost over. Series of places, you know, counting and the like. So
the good thing there is, no matter what happens, Nigerians, everybody is now aware of the whole thing. This time 4 years ago, most people were relaxing. Someone like me, I didn't even know what was going on, how the whole thing was being done. But now, all of us, most people,
we are more involved.
We are now involved. Everybody is now awake.
Yeah.
Like, what is going on? Why is this thing done this way? Why are they doing it this way? And I believe that in the next 4 years, there will be more enlightenment.
Yes, of course. And I think in the next 4 years, many people would have joined, you know, the politics, like the main politics, and they would know how it is being done. You know, so it is when you've joined this politics, that's when you will know how thugs are being mobilized, how they actually rig elections.
And those people, those youths who act on their emotions, they will understand politics.
That is just game of
they would have understand
numbers.
Politics.
Let these people vote, have more votes than your opponent. That's just the main goal of politics. So, in Nigeria politics, it doesn't matter how you actually galvanize all these votes. Just make sure that at the end of the day, you have more votes than your opponent. Okay, so I've actually come to the end of the program today. We'll be coming up with subsequent election update, as well as the results have been announced by INEC. We would surely be giving it to you in right quantities and proportions. So lastly, I'll just have to say this, that, you know, we've looked at so many outcome of elections across the 28 states where the governorship election is going on, but with much emphasis on Lagos State. You know, Lagos State is being called the center of excellence, and I think the excellence should cut across all categories of things that would go on in Lagos State. So, you know, the elections, it should have been that excellence, that center of excellence. The excellence in Lagos State should have also been in the electoral process. And so many people will tell you that it is a far cry to excellence at all, not even, you know, something close to it. You know, many people have their reservation due to the fact that we have evidences online where there was voter suppression, you know, voter apathy, you know, process whereby people have been threatened, violence everywhere. So I think the excellence
and the areas where results are supposed to be cancelled, that there was no cancellation.
Yeah, so I think the excellence should have also transpired in the electoral process as well. So we'll still be coming up with other updates pertaining to this governorship election and the State House of Assembly as well. Do keep on watching Flip TV. You can still smash the like button as well, and let us have your comment. Drop your comment. What do you feel about the governorship election in totality? Some people actually, a particular election observer said that this election is free and fair.
What would you want them to tell you? Definitely they'll tell you. Though it's actually in some states,
yes,
in some states, like we've not really seen any report of violence in Delta State so far. Delta State, that they are conducting election as well, and some other states too, like Katsina.
Or your state.
Katsina, like those states in the north. We've not really heard anything happening in the north, except the video where we saw a particular vote buying. Aside of that, there's no other.
It has been peaceful
so far. Peaceful over there, unlike here in the southern part of Nigeria, where things are always done the way it's been done.
All right, so stay tuned to Flip TV. We'll keep on giving you updates as it comes. Okay, so stay tuned to Flip TV. I am Olajide Taufik Olamide.
Thank you so much for being part of this show today. We promise you that every other update that you need will be on Flip TV. So keep watching Flip TV.
Don't go nowhere. Also, click on the subscribe, please. Dalu Ejo, I beg. Subscribe to Flip TV. We have so many viewers that are watching us and they are not subscribing. Ejo to real long. Ejo. Please click on the subscribe button and you'll do well to always come back to always watch Flip TV as well. Refer us. Tell your friends, tell your families, your business associates that Flip TV drops amazing content and also news update as well. Don't go nowhere. Keep on watching Flip TV.
Thank you so much and have a lovely weekend. Bye.
Okay, so can you kindly tell us what polling unit this is and how the elections has been going so far?
This polling unit 018, Lekki Phase 1. The election has been going very well. Our people, they came out. We write our attendance list. When it's exactly to 9, the INEC came. We start the processing, the election process, and it has been going peacefully. We don't have issue here. We have been coordinating ourselves properly, and the election is going on peacefully, no problem.
All right. In terms of security, so far, I can say a couple of. This is one of the busiest polling units I've visited in Victoria Island. We registered some polling units where persons did not really turn out Do you think what do you think could be the reason for that?
Not turning up.
Yes.
For not turning out. Probably, I don't know what happened. Maybe due to the rain, but I can't say. Maybe probably the outcome of the last election. I don't know. But me and most of the citizens, they have come out to cast their vote to do their civil rights. That's what I think.
Thank you.
Benny Adeleko. Come in. Adako. Akalize. Let's hold on. Let's give them a maybe their secret. Kiruka Joe.
So I can see that I think there's self-organizing here. Persons wrote their names and so they're calling them to come up. Can you just give me a general preview of how the election process has been going so far?
Sorry, say again?
How has the election process been ongoing since you came in here?
Well, this polling unit has always been peaceful, and it's peaceful. That's just it. You know, we're following the due process, we're doing the right things, and people are casting their vote.
Hello.
Yeah, so far so good, yeah. But our brothers out in the mainland, they can't vote from what I heard and what I've seen online. So, but yeah, we're more organized, but we're all respectable and civilized here. So that's it.
Thank you.
Nigeria, my fatherland. When I was a little boy, we used to sing a right so called Petrois. Every tribe and every tongue, we used to live in peace and harmony. With one voice, with one love, with one strength, we used to live. Nigeria, giants of Africa. I remember the north and south, the east and west. We used to live in unity. But suddenly we start to live in this unity. Nigeria, why? We can live without fighting. We can live without killing one another. Giants of Africa. We can live without hatred. And we can live without maiming one another. Nigeria, I see a brighter future. Give peace a chance. What we need is peace. What we need is peace. Nigeria. What we need is peace. What we need is peace. What we need is peace to build Nigeria. What we need is peace.